Hi everyone, it's Amy from Making Space. I hope you're well. It's Tuesday, which means today I've got an activity for you all inspired by our Young Designers course. Today I'm not going to do a physical demonstration just because I've not got all the things I need at hand today, and the demonstration will take a little bit too long, but I'm going to talk you through the whole process, explain what you need to do, and I'll put all the links and the resources on the blog post as well, so head to our website if you want to find out exactly how to do it. So the idea of today's activity is all about print. We've talked about designing printed patterns before, but today we're going to be looking at a motif. And a motif is an individual component of a print that might be repeated across a design to make up a printed pattern. Now, this is an activity I've done with my young designers previously, and we've done this as a project that's maybe gone on about 3 or 4 weeks. So this isn't a short activity like some of the other ones I've done. It's a bit more of a project that you can set yourself at home, but it's really easy to do. If you can get your hands on the more specialist equipment, you can use that. But if you've not, it doesn't matter. You can use much simpler methods. So I'll talk you through the whole process and what we did. So we started the process by creating a mood board, and I like to do this because it kind of helps fine-tune what you like, your interests, the colours and things that appeal to you. So this was a mood board made by one of my students, and you can see it's quite colourful, it's quite tropical, it's quite graphic as well. She then fine-tuned that, and from that she came up with a motif, which was this sort of geometric pineapple design. She then decided what she was going to print, and we were doing vest tops. So she did a simple sketch of what it might look like in pencil and a fashion illustration here. This was the full design, which you can just about see underneath here. And to create her stamp, she used lino. Now this is lino here. If I sort of move it in the light, you can see. Now lino's a soft form of plastic which you can carve, and you use special lino tools to kind of carve that out. But there's some other options you can do if you can't get your hands on this, or if you've not got an adult present, because the thing about lino is it's quite easy to slip and end up hurting yourself. Ask many people who have tried lino. And a few other options. You can use polystyrene. You can buy polystyrene sheets really cheaply. I will link them on the blog post. And the nice thing about polystyrene is you can just use a pen or a pencil to kind of do the indentations to create your stencil, to create your stamp. If you can't get your hands on that, you can do potato printing. It's the same process. So you don't even need to go out and buy anything that you've not got at home. Everybody's probably got a potato in the cupboard that they can use. And if you're going to use a potato, cut it in half. Dab it with some paper towel to take off the moisture, and then you're going to want to draw your design, your motif, onto it, and then use a relatively sharp knife to kind of cut away the design. So you want a stamp that's left. So you can see the background of this is all being cut away, so the raised up element remains. Then you're going to need a garment that you can use. Now, I'm sure we've all got garments that are lurking at the back of the wardrobe that we don't really wear that much. Maybe it's an old vest top, a t-shirt. I'm sure everybody's got something that they can get their hands on. And the idea is you can then print it using your motif. So let me lay this one out so you can see it. So you can see this stamp's been used to create this really lovely tropical print, and she's done lots of kind of warm colours and then one blue design here. Now you can also see that she's done like a really nice ombre kind of colour effect on here, which is really nice. Now you do need fabric paints if you want to be able to wear this, and again I will link them on the blog post. They're not particularly expensive, and a little goes a long way. But to get this ombre effect, what I'd recommend doing is squirting out some colours. So for this one, probably a red a yellow, a red and maybe a purple. And if you mix the yellow and the red, you're going to get different shades of orange. And then if you mix the red and the purple, you're going to get this kind of maroony colour here. Now to apply the colour, use a sponge, a household sponge that maybe you do the washing up with, or you can even just use your brush, but as you're putting it on, you know, mix it round so the colours kind of blend as you're putting it on. What you then do is you paint it on the raised surface of your the stencil that you've made. You turn it over, you push it down, and then you apply pressure to the top of your stencil, and that transfers the design. So you can see, really effective and completely can transform a plain white garment to something really exciting. So let's move this one out of the way, and I will show you another example. Now this was one that I made as an example for my students. I like to do this so I know the whole process, but the same thing, I did exactly the same as what my student did. So I started off by coming up with, by creating a mood board. And again, you can see my prints were quite graphic, quite bold. So you can see there. I then created what I wanted my motif to be. So it was an almost, I don't know what you'd call that shape, a bit like a teardrop with a point on both ends, but with a kind of graphic print on the inside, inspired by things that I'd seen, you know, on my mood board as well. I then did a fashion illustration to show what the top might look like. And again, we've done so many fashion illustrations previously with the young designers. So if you're not sure, have a look back at some of the early young designers ones and that talks you through the whole process of how to get a really nice sort of fashion illustration. And here is my stencil. So again, this one was created using lino. If I tilt it in the light, you can really nicely see the print. But what you'll notice about this one is I actually cut the shape out. So this template would be much more reminiscent of what you get if you were doing a potato print, because obviously it's not square. Or if you cut your polystyrene or lino down, you can create a different shape, which looks really cool. And here's an example of the finished print. And again, I kind of did an ombre effect similar to the other design as well, where I mix the colours. So you can see it looks really nice. And because I repeated them quite close together, I'm creating a repeat pattern, more of a print. So that's the activity. It's a really nice one it's almost like setting yourself a project that you would do at school or that we would do at Young Designers, but you can do it at home. And you can take a week, a couple of weeks to do it, but go through the processes, you know, come up with a mood board that inspires your designs, come up with a design motif that you like, come up with a fashion illustration and think about what garment you might have in your wardrobe that you don't wear that's being wasted. So it's a way of upcycling and reusing it into something that you would love to wear. Then you want to create the actual stencil itself. And like I said, that can be done in a variety of ways, using lino, using polystyrene, or even potato printing. And then you do the process of actually printing it onto the material. So it's a really, like I said, a really nice project to set yourself at home, really fun, and just something that really gets you to take that jump from doing fashion design into kind of production as well. We've not done many of these during this course because I didn't know what materials people had at home. But with the summer holidays coming up as well, and I think people are having a bit of a clear out of the wardrobe, you know, like I said, most people have got something lurking at the back of the wardrobe which they can kind of use to upcycle. And I will, like I said, put some links to some fabric paints online. They're not expensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And obviously, you know, if you just get the primary colours, your red, your yellow and your blue, you can then mix all the secondary colours, so your oranges, your greens and your purples from that as well. And if you can get a white and a black as well, brilliant, because that means you can lighten and darken it. But it's a great investment getting some fabric paints. In addition to printing, you can obviously just paint with it, but have a go at this. It's a really lovely project and something I hope you'll have a go at. You'll feel inspired by, and you'll get creative at home and have a go. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a go. And if you do, obviously send us some results, because I would love to see what you come up with. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.